What's going on, Jeromes? We're back. Happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday out there to those who celebrate. Daily Jerome's live stream Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m.-ish Central Time. Thank you very much for coming along and make us every day. Apologies for being late. We were doing a video. We found that, well, I got to get a new desktop, man. So rendering a video, Adobe Premiere, takes basically all the CPU. So it's really hard to stream while you're doing that. But thanks for coming along. First up, NF's hey there, love channel. Thank you. I don't think people really understand the grind you put in to make these videos. Well, it's more fun, and of course I'm a raging narcissist, so what can you do? Who are some draft prospects that the Vikings might not need that could be interesting? Personally, I like Asai, Nick Bolton, also Pitts at 14. Of course, that dude is phenomenal. Yeah, I love Kyle Pitts. Guys that they don't necessarily, well, say they do bring back Wilson on the cheap and Anthony Barr, but if Zaven Collins is, say the Vikings trade down, Zaven Collins just hanging around, that'd be great. Let's see what else here. Dwayne Eskridge, I just love. Yeah. Pitts would be a good one. I'm really warm up to Tommy Tremble, and I know that even though the Vikings got rid of Rudolph, I mean, the Vikings do go too deep at tight end, but and why would you replace a Notre Dame tight end with another Notre Dame tight end? Tommy Tremble's legit. Same thing with Trey McKay from Georgia. So also remember, Gronklin, is on the final year of his rookie deal. He's probably not going to be re-signed. He's probably going to get some decent money for agency. So if you want to replace him, sure. Cornerback, yes. I mean, if they just straight up took J.C. Horn at 14, I ain't going to complain. J.C. Horn's a hell of a player. Matt Myers, what is your favorite guilty pleasure? Food, TV, toy, whatever. Toy? Guilty pleasure? I know we eat pizza on Friday. That's really about it. I don't drink as much as I used to. Maybe that'll change when summer comes around. Oh, maybe that stems from everyone being isolated during quarantine, and it feels really weird to drink alone. Because I that's a slippery slope. Guilty pleasure. Oh, TV wise. So sometimes I do like trashy TV. I mean, everyone needs just an outlet where the show Ballers on HBO with The Rock and Denzel Washington's kid is the lead. The guy who's one of the leads in Tenet. And they have NFL teams like Larry Zonka is coaching the Dolphins. It's actually it's a very stupid show, but it's still entertaining. Miles, you and JP Sears have something in common. Your rationale brings me peace. Sears like the meditation dude. Yeah, I should probably get into that. Monkey Crow. When will the Vikings come out with new uniforms? What would you like to see? I actually like that the Vikings stick relatively close to the classic. I mean, if they wanted to go back, I always bring up this example. Random McDaniel Vikings. Let's go. Yeah. So if the Vikings want to go back to something like this, I'm down with that. If you include this uniforms with the block font, don't go with the numbers have horns. Cool. And then like the thick stripes, prominent stripes, and also every single player should have to wear a neck roll. That is all. But have this with the flat matte helmets. Oh, and every single player has to wear a dark tinted visor. They have to do that too. And there's one. Diggs, Thielen, throwback white uniforms. It's gonna be hard to find. Oh no, it's right at the top. Durr. So yeah, Thielen and Diggs in these old uniforms. These were the road ones. Yeah, let's go. But overall, I don't know why, but every single like fan concept uniform has them going all black. Yeah, that's really my thing. NFA, what's your advice for starting a sports theme YouTube channel? Make a lot of content and speak specifically for what your audience will be looking for. Or just talk about Big Ben randomly one day, just like we did. Chris Danny Hansen, also keep shooting. You're going to suck at first. I mean, no one blows up in a day. Chris Danny Hansen, I heard the Packers have taken the most DBs in the first round since the Vikings drafted Moss in '98. Do you believe? Probably. Also, it doesn't hurt that they don't generally re-sign their defensive back. So they let them go to free agency. They get comp picks and then just cycle through. It's going to be interesting what they're going to do with Jair. They should re-sign him. But if they want to let him go, I mean, I'm okay with that. Joshua Nomura. How do you feel if we get Eric Stokes day 2, trade down, or round 3? I don't really get the Stokes hype. So after his combine, I went back and looked at his tape again, and his combine speed doesn't sync up with his play speed. So change direction is big because yeah, it's cool if you can run a 4.25 40-yard dash in a straight line, but how do you do changing direction? Like how do your hips flip? Like how do you what's your agility? Because I mean, there's some corners. There's some wide receivers where they may clock in at a 4.3 in the 40, but their true playing speed may be like a 5 flat because they don't know where they're going. Now, Stokes, that's a little bit harsh on Stokes. I think he does have talent, but I mean, there's some sites where after his pro day, they put him as cornerback 4. No, like I'm not putting him above Greg Newsome the second at all. No. But hell, he's not even the best cornerback on his team. I'm still taking Tyson every single day. So, I mean, I like Stokes, but see, this is what happens like every year around the combine. And since there's not a formal combine, all these sporadic pro days and regional combines, like you're going to see these spurts where, I mean, if Eric Stokes was a 4th round pick before his combine, he should be a 4th round pick after his combine. Like maybe he gets bumped up a little bit, but like I have a lot of concern. Like his press man skills or whatever, I think he'd do fine in zone, but he does, for lack of a better term, he does strike me as a bit Trey Waynes, where he's got great straight line speed, but the hips, questionable. Again, I would be fine with him in the 4th round. I'm not going to touch him in day 2. And also like the hype of him cornerback 4. No. M. Mar 64. What's the latest news on Everson returning? Probably not happening. Yeah, no. Jem Roberts, QB. Well, after the Cousins tweet, probably closed the door most of the way. And then after Weatherly came back, no. Jem Roberts, quarterback money's nearly doubled since 2016, 2017, way ahead of cap increases. Prescott getting $40 million now. Is there a point where you take a second-tier quarterback if you can't hit the quarterback rookie contract jackpot? Spread the money, give yourself a better chance of winning. Well, it depends because even second-tier quarterbacks are going to get top-tier quarterback money if they hit free agency, and top-tier quarterbacks simply do not hit the market unless they're traded. But so essentially you take 3rd-tier quarterbacks and then give them 18 to 20 million per year, and then hopefully they work out. But what are you going to do? Like give Mitchell Trubisky Ponder $20 million a year and hopefully it works out? Probably not. I think it's going to become an interesting spot where if you have your guy, you have your guy. Then just keep him no matter what. Or you just keep cycling through. I mean, teams, if they don't want to keep up with the Joneses in terms of quarterback salary, do they just keep hammering 1st and 2nd, day 1, day 2 picks into the quarterback position and just keep rotating through? Maybe. Go for audio. 14 to GB for 29.62 and Jordan Love. I'm not trading with Green Bay. But I would do that. R-free. But what would they be trading up for? If Devontae Smith fell? Well, then you got to deal with Devontae Smith twice a year. Nah. R-free. How much more fun do internet Karens make this channel for you? The lost art of sarcasm shines bright here. Keep it a good work. Yeah. So occasionally, myself or producer Allie will pin just a completely over the top comment, or we'll put it out in the community. It's really funny. And I don't know if people are being legit obtuse, or if it's just a troll. And I know, don't feed the trolls, but the trolls make this worthwhile. But man, some people get really worked up. What about sports ball? It's weird. Pulford Skull. Thoughts on Jimmy G back to New England? Yeah, maybe. I actually think at this point, San Francisco might be leaning towards keeping Jimmy and then maneuvering to draft a quarterback. Matt Myers. What potential cap casualty do you see the Vikings signing? Gabe Jackson. Carlos Dunlap would be interesting because, like I said in the video yesterday, I would take Dunlap over Geno Atkins, even though Atkins is at a more pressing position of need, just because there's no real health questions. Plus, he has proven that he's got some left. Rohit and Apati. Do you think? If Golden Tate, maybe. Rohit and Apati. Do you think a rotation of Juan and Weatherly and Afadi would be effective as a burp for the DN spot opposite Vanille? Ideally, you'd want to freshen up a little bit, but if it's not in the cards of free agency or the draft, you don't have to force it, and I feel okay with it. That's why a couple weeks ago we talked about how edge is less of a pressing need because of the return of Daniil. Hopefully you keep him and keep him happy. Weatherly, it shouldn't compound the calculus, but if your guy is there at 14 and he's the top on your board, go get him. Or same thing, day 2, day 3. But it certainly blunts the effect if the Vikings didn't come away with a significant edge right away. Spencer Vox, if Devontae Smith is available at 14, do you take him? Yes. Yes, you do. You're projected to have 11 more draft picks, including 6 rounds 3 and 4. So you can address other positions of need. And Devontae Smith with Thielen and Jefferson, and eventually Devontae and Jefferson. Let's go. Ameno Giscus. I know this would never happen, but just speaking hypothetically, would you trade Jefferson in 14 for the number 1 overall pick from the Jaguars? Yes. Yes, I would. As much as I love Jefferson, it's Trevor Lawrence, man. It's Trevor Lawrence. Hey, let us know where you're watching from. We'll give a couple shout outs. Plus, ostensibly, if you're trading up to 1 for 14, that is a long way. So they're putting the price tag on Jefferson or his value, multiple ones and some change, like probably a 1-1-2. Yeah, that's a long way to go up. T-Rag, if the Vikings don't pick up Hughes' 5th-year option and he balls out next year, then the Vikings sign him to a long-term deal. Would that be the most Vikings thing for the Vikings to do? Nah, not particularly, because since they've changed 5th-year options now, so they are fully guaranteed as opposed to injury guaranteed. Plus, they do have accelerants if the player had made Pro Bowls. No. As of right now, Mike Hughes has not earned his 5th-year option, so don't give it to him. Haimo Keuken. Can you mock the top 5 quarterbacks who will be picked and what their stats will be next season? Thanks. Won't do stats. I'll throw for a lot. But we'll mock. So 1, Jaguars, Lawrence. 2, Jets, Wilson. I think the Falcons trade up from 4 to 3 because they don't want to get leapfrog because they know that Miami is just itching to trade down. So I think the Falcons trade up to 3 and take Justin Fields. I think the Panthers at 8, or maybe they maneuver, but they take Mac Jones. And then the Broncos at 9 get Trey Lance. Yeah, I think they all go in the top 9. Tanner Smits. With Brandon Scherf getting hit with the franchise tag, that makes Thuney the premier guard in free agency. That being said, it's more likely that it'll cost the Vikings a ridiculous amount of money to get him in the building. If they're willing to pay that type of money, what other guards could you see bring him at a more affordable rate? Gabe Jackson, that would be a lot of fun, but given what the Vikings have traditionally done, if they're going for a scheme fit guy, Austin Blythe from the Rams makes sense. Ethan Posich. They probably will get $5 to $6 million per year, about that Josh Klein type of deal, and that would be more economical than throwing $15-16 million per year at Joe Thuney. But the juice might be worth the squeeze, man. Or you look at, let's see who else, John Feliciano from the Bills, Forrest Lamp from the Chargers. There's going to be a lot of really interesting names out there. Kevin Zeitler, probably going to get cut from the Giants. Andrew Norwell, probably going to get cut from the Jaguars. David DeCastro might get cut from the Steelers. So there's going to be a ton of guards out there, and the Vikings need to partake. They got to get out there. A couple shout-outs. Let's see here. Ozzy Mata, Skull from El Paso. What up? Astro Zio, St. Cloud. John Hoffius, Rochester, Med City. What up? Zach Moses, ATL. What's going on? You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. Next up, Miles. Could Kirk be traded during the draft? Let's say the Niners get Rick on the horn. 4 quarterbacks go. It's not out of the realm of possibility. He doesn't have a roster bonus due, so it doesn't really impact the Vikings cap this year. It just is what it is. Well, $35 million base in 2022 becomes fully guaranteed on March 19th, next Friday, but that doesn't really matter. Maybe. I think it's still unlikely. Tony Salomonsky. There's a good chance 5 quarterbacks are going to go in the top 10. There's a good chance Waddle, Devontae, Parsons will follow the top 14, and you're able to find it within yourself and trade down with someone like the Dolphins. That would be desperate for them. I don't know if they'd be desperate because they'll see the board the same way too. Like players, really good players are going to fall because of the quarterback tax. But yeah, I think that if there is one straggler quarterback, I think that's where there's going to be a lot of value, especially if the Patriots don't address QB. And they're sitting at 15. Chris Danny Hansen. What are Zimmer's strengths and weaknesses as a head coach? Strengths, defense, except for last year. Weaknesses, he hasn't really evolved as a game manager. Also strength. So players generally enjoy playing for Zimmer. He's one of those tough love coaches that you want to, that you don't want to disappoint, and sometimes you want to prove them wrong. You play for them out of spite. Weaknesses, he hasn't really developed as a game manager. Plus, I understand that he wants a head coach of the offense so he can completely abdicate from that responsibility, but he's the head coach of the entire team, man. And you saw that drawback with special teams last year with Marvin Maloof, where when he had Prefer, think of whatever you want to think about Prefer, but he is one of the top special teams coaches in the league. So Zimmer was able to just completely ignore special teams and not be stirring that pot. But Maloof last year was an implosion, and Zimmer's defense was not great. Plus, I think Zimmer, this might sound weird, Zimmer might be too nice to a fault, where he's almost too loyal to a fault, where you look at, well, except for with North Turner, but you look at that defense where instead of having the decision or having the grapes to name one defensive coordinator to replace George Edwards, he went with co-defense coordinators. Andre Patterson's been with him for a long time, and he's been putting in the years. He's exceedingly competent. He deserves to be a defense coordinator if he wants to be. But then, he wants to help out his kid. And respect, Adam Zimmer has been putting in that work. He got his feet wet, not working under his pops, because I believe he was in Kansas City, then New Orleans. I think he won a ring with the Saints. That sticks in my craw a little bit. And then he went to Cincy to work with his pops. But you look at Paul Gunther, okay. He's bringing Gale from Breaking Bad. So, to a degree, maybe Zimmer is too loyal. Yeah. Casey Wall, Happy Taco Tuesday. Do you think the Vikings should fire Mike Zimmer and hire someone new for that gig? Well, they're not going to this year, but he's definitely on the hot seat in 2021. Like, the Vikings need to make significant headway, especially if they do get some puck luck with injuries. With Daniil back, Pierce back, if they fix that offensive line, there's no excuses. Like, the Vikings need to go to the Super Bowl this year. Stan the Morrows. What positions are known for being bred out of each of the Power 5 conferences? Well, trenches, SEC for sure. Also skill position. Basically everyone SEC. But, SEC quarterbacks have been sort of hit or miss. Well, you look at Joe Burrow last year. You look at Tua. Hit and miss. But so looking at the top quarterbacks right now, so you got Russ, who was at NC State. I do not recognize his 1 year. He was mercenary at Wisconsin. So you got ACC. You have Deshaun Watson, Clemson, ACC. You have Mahomes, Texas Tech, Big 12. You have, highest paid guys. So you got Dak, SEC, Mississippi State. You got Tom Brady, Michigan, Big 10. So it really is scattershot all over the place. I'm going to think, who's like the really good Pac-12 quarterback? Aaron Rodgers from Cal. Butte Community College. So it really is spread out all over the place. Who's a small school? Let's take a look. Highest paid. And, we always say scout the player, not the helmet. And also scout the player, not the conference. But I don't know. When was the last good Big Ten wide receiver? Chris Carter? Well, probably Michael Thomas. So Mahomes, Jared Goff, Cal, Cousins, Big Ten, Michigan State, Carson Wentz, NDSU, FCS. Maybe that's why Trey Lance is trickling down. Matt Ryan, Boston College. No, it was the Big East. No, they're in the ACC now, right? Yeah. Let's see, Tannehill, A&M. Well, that was the Big 12 when he was in it. They're SEC now. Jabroni Brisket, NC State, ACC, Jimmy G, FCS, Eastern Illinois, Stafford, Georgia, SEC, Derek Carr, Fresno State. I believe they're in the WAC at that point. Drew Brees, Purdue, Big Ten, Brady, Michigan, we talked about, Rivers, NC State, ACC. Maybe NC State is a quarterback factory, man. Teddy, Louisville. I believe they're Conference USA when he was in there. They're in the AAC now. Big Ben, Miami, Ohio, the MAC, Taysom Hill, BYU, Independent, Burrow, SEC, Mariota, Oregon, Pac-12, Kyler, Oklahoma, Big 12. Also, Foles was Arizona, so Pac-12. Baker, Oklahoma, Big 12. Tua, SEC. Darnold, USC, Pac-12. Trubisky, UNC, ACC. Herbert, Oregon, Pac-12. Keenum, Houston. I think they were Conference USA at the time. Ty God, Virginia Tech, ACC. Fitzpatrick, Harvard, Ivy League. Josh Allen, Wyoming, the WAC. Chase Daniel, Mizzou. I think they were still Big 12 back then, but they're ACC now. Jordan Love, Utah State. I think that's the WAC. I don't know. Andy Dalton, TCU. The Big 12. Heineke, Old Dominion. Jeff Driscoll, Florida. Lamar Jackson, Louisville. Colt McCoy, Texas. Barkley, USC. Schaub, Virginia. Drew Lock, Mizzou. Cam Newton, Auburn. Well, should have been Mississippi State, but, Studfeld. Where is Studfeld from? Oh, stumped. Oh, well. Henney, Michigan. Jalen Hurts, Oklahoma by way of Alabama. Flacco, Delaware. Griffin. Want to say Baylor? No, that's not right. Blaine Gabbert, Mizzou. Geno Smith, West Virginia. Mountain Mama. Mike Lennon. NC State. Because Russell Wilson only transferred to Wisconsin because, what was it? Was it Larry Fedora? No, Tom O'Brien. Yeah, Tom O'Brien was the coach at NC State, and he picked Mike Glennon over Russell Wilson. Good luck. Jameis, Florida State. Joe Webb, Blazer. Josh Johnson, San Diego. Not San Diego State. San Diego. Hoyer, Michigan State. Did he take over for Kirk Cousins, or was that the other way around? Might be the other way around. Manning, Oregon State. Hundley, UCLA. Peterman, Pitt. Eason, Washington. James Morgan, FIU or FAU? It's one of the two. Simeon, Northwestern. Rudolph. You get the idea. Cooper Rush, Central Michigan. Will Greer, West Virginia. Kaiser, Notre Dame. Anyway, next up. So long answer longer. No. Michael Merchant Robles. Has a guy been drafted in the 4th round and higher and won the Rookie of the Year? Let's take a look. Let's see. Wiki NFL list of Rookie of the Year. Oh, Dak Prescott, 4th round. There you go. That was quick. See, Kamara, I want to say was a 3rd round pick. Let's see. Bosa, Chase Young. I think Darius Leonard was a 2nd round pick. Let's make sure. Darius Leonard, 2nd round, 36 overall. That's almost a 1st round pick. Shoot. Let's see. Sheldon, Kuechly, Miller, Cushing. No. Yeah. Dak, 4th round pick. Coming out of Mississippi State. What up? Lucas Johns. How big of a priority is Edge now that we got a rotational piece back in Weatherly? I don't think it changes things. Like, you don't not take Kwity Paye if he's the top guy on your board at 14, or if you trade down and Phillips or Aziz is in there or Boogie Basham just because Weatherly's back. I don't think that changes things. Merchant Robles, who was the best player from top 22 to 42 in 2014. 22-42. It's probably going to be... All right, so Manziel, D. Ford, Verrett, Dennard. It's funny that Benjamin's been out of the league for like 3 years. DeMarcus Lawrence. Batonio's there. It's at 42, right? It's a toss-up between Lawrence and Batonio. I might give the slight edge to Lawrence, but it's pretty close. Next up, Arfree. With the uncertain cap for next year or two, are the Vikings better off going with Rick's usual strategy of drafting as many players as possible to target a few players in the Well, the cap might be out of the bag with the new TV deal. Jerry Jones spending up on Dak. I think the cap might be in fine shape in 2022. So I think Rick's just going to do his normal thing. Ethan Griffith. Orlando Brown Jr. for Brian O'Neill. Who says no? Me. I would rather have O'Neill. Meyer 64. Did you see Linval was liking comments about return to Minnesota? Nah, but everyone's playing the game. It's kind of funny. Ezekiel Lockhart, why should I watch the Vikings, Zimmer, and Cuz? They're still here. Sell us some hope. Well, what else are you going to do on a Sunday? Number 2, do you like paintballing airsoft? Not since I was a kid. 3, is it true that the Wild are the best Minnesota franchise in all major sports? No, the Zappers. Even though they're technically in Minnesota, I mean, Dalvin owns them, so... Titans release Khalif Raymond. Yes. Go after him. 3 for $118 against the Vikings week 3. Did dirty things to Gladney and definitely Holton Hill. That game may have sealed Holton Hill's fate. Also dropping the game-winning interception. That's rough. Or, wait, no. Was that Chris Boyd? No, that was Holton Hill. AJ Barse. How much of a believer are you in the whole PFF analytics system? How accurate Well, the thing about it is that it's not objective. It is subjective. So the whole, beyond the stats they put out, like pressures and tackles, all that stuff, but the whole grade system is one educated person, or sometimes a team. Sometimes they do a weighted average of a person going through and grading each snap. So each number you get isn't rooted in fact. It isn't objective. It is a person's opinion. So you do have to take that with a grain of salt. But I mean, the PFF analytics team, they're definitely educated and they're definitely know their stuff. So, I mean, you could do a PFF where you have former players going through and grading, which, that's a business idea, isn't it? Get a handful of former players, get 3 at each position, and have them go through and grade every single game. But I don't know if former players would want to do that. But that would be great. Former player football, FPF. Spartus, 2 questions. Thoughts on Louis Riddick as possible GM if Spielman ends up getting the X? I give credit to guys like Louis Riddick and Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks, media people who were scouts, were in front offices. I think Riddick was pretty high up in the Eagles organization, if I remember right. There's a reason why Riddick's name gets floated around quite a bit in terms of former TV guys. Now, Mayock going straight from the booth and the desk to a GM. I mean, that was a big leap because he didn't have any legit scouting experience. He might have had a cup of coffee, but it wasn't like as long-term as Riddick or Daniel Jeremiah. So that was interesting. 2, Falcons need a good edge rusher, possible 4 for Hunter. God, that would be tempting. It would be. But that's just another case of the Vikings sending a great edge rusher to the Falcons. Chris Dolman 2.0. Stanley Moros. What do you think about Thielen, Reef, and a 5th to Baltimore for Orlando Brown, 2nd round pick back, and a 6th, and then swap first? Do everything except for the first swaps. Westworld. How different would the NFL be if the Vikings had paired Adam Thielen with Alshon Jeffrey when he was available? When was he available? Well, they probably wouldn't have drafted Diggs. Or maybe they would have. They would have gone 3 deep. Super Bowl. Rohit and Apati. Ardarius Washington or Richie Grant? In a vacuum, I would take Richie. Which one would complement Harrison Smith the best? Well, Richie can definitely bring the lumber, except he's pretty phenomenal in coverage as well. I think he's a better box safety than Trevin Moehrig, but I still think Moehrig is a better all-around safety. But Richie Grant's a dude, man. I love Richie Grant. Ardarius is best suited in the box. That's what their roles were. Ardarius was working the box, and Trevor Morrig was generally a single high safety. Sometimes they play split safeties, but given where they're probably going to go, Richie's probably going to be a high day 2 pick. Ardarius might be end of day 2, early day 3. Best to complement Harrison Smith, Richie. But if you're looking for a safety to replace Harrison Smith, Ardarius. Yeah. Baby Bob Sanders. I love it. Little known perfection. Flex tape Michael Pierce. I like the new nickname. Oh, yeah. So in the Michael Pierce workout video, we said that he's going to fix the Vikings defense like flex tape. That stupid infomercial where they drill a hole in a boat and then they cover it with tape and then it still floats. Yeah, that's going to be Michael Pierce. Next up, Pulford Skull. Kyle Rudolph for the Patriots. They just drafted 2 mid-round tight ends last year, so I don't know. Mano Giscus, when you did your Premier League comparison video, I thought you should have compared Tottenham to the Vikings. Both teams are pretty good, but don't win any trophies. Yeah, a lot of people chimed in on that. Oh, well. Jacob McCullough, what do you think our starting offensive line and D-line is next year? So left to right, Riley Reef, Jumpin' Joe, Riley Reef, Ethan Posich, Bradbury, Ezra Cleveland, and Brian O'Neill. And then a day 2 selection as one of your swing interior backups. And then you got Oli Udoh and Kyle Big Hinton. I think they re-signed Brett Jones. Defensive line, left to right, Carlos Boogie Basham, Aleem McNeil at 3-tech, Michael Pierce at nose tackle, and Daniil Hunter on the blind side. Woo! Let's go. Either of it. Richie Incognito is now a free agent. I know he has baggage, but dude is a stud at guard. Would you sign him if you were Rick? If I remember right, like Richie Incognito was on social media talking junk about Zimmer, so it's probably not going to happen. M. Casanaway, damn early one, Leonard Williams. Yep, Giants tagged him. They're working on a long-term deal. Be what it be. D. Taylor, what other positions do you wish we invested as many draft picks as we do corner each year? Quarterback. Also the offensive line. Just keep going at it. Let's see, Hunter Henry's not getting tagged. Who cares? Ooh, Galladay's not going to be tagged. And for that, we thank you. Thank you very much, Lions. Let's go. Christine Hansen, favorite ice cream? Probably maple nut or strawberry. It's definitely old man flavors, but I don't care. Meyer 64, Slater or AVT if both were available at 14. Slater. Man, it's not close. DP, who gives us a better chance of winning the Super Bowl in the next 4 years? Current Kirk Cousins on a rookie contract or current Trevor Lawrence on Kirk's contract? Kirk. Yeah, because I mean, having $30 million, having between $31 and $45 million in cap space to be able to spend, yes. AJ Barnes. Curious your opinion on if Teddy would have been better, blah, 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 if he hadn't had that injury. He's a great team. I still think that Teddy Bridgewater was going to make a leap in year 3. He looked great in training camp. He looked great in preseason, and he was going to make that leap. So he was going to be less cautious. He was going to his deep ball outside the numbers was a lot better. He added size. He added strength, and we'll never know. But yeah. But your thoughts, actually, no, not your thoughts. That's it. That is the Daily Jeromes live stream for today. Thank you very much for coming along. You guys are the best. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes and hashtag content. And that's it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Skol.